Hello, this is Bonsai Anonymous, and I think it's Alexa. What is today?
Today is Wednesday, February 7th.
Yes, today is Wednesday, February 7th. This is Bonsai Anonymous. I probably already said that. I have a little bit of a lisp, more of a lisp than usual tonight, because I got my two remaining teeth put in today. And the best thing about that, other than having the teeth, is that that was my last dentist appointment. I have a couple of cleanings coming up, but I'm thinking of canceling them. I hate the dentist, but no, I'm not canceling. I'll go. But anyway, I was talking the other day about what makes a good solo, and I think I got to some of the aspects of sound: pleasing, in tune, proper for the instrument and proper for the situation, volume correct, and pleasing, basically. And legato, some aspects of that sound are the legato, playing legato smooth, being able to play smoothly and consistently. The second part of it, and I'm sure I'll come back to that but the second part of it is time. And for most jazz musicians, this means swing. How do you swing? Can you swing? Well, it's very difficult to find a recording of a jazz musician who doesn't swing, because those jazz musicians don't get to record. So virtually everything you're going to hear on a recording that's in the swing style, the soloists are going to swing, unless it's a student band or something with, or I don't know what. But any professional band, the soloists are going to swing, and they're all going to have different perspectives on what that means. Lots of studies have been done to show that there's a wide variation in placement of eighth notes. Basically, it's the second eighth note, the end of the beat, where we place it. And there's a variation in where we place it. So why is it swing if it's different from one player or the other? Well, it's consistent, number one, and convincing. It's convincing. It sounds like you mean it. Kind of wandering around rhythmically without some sort of intent is a killer. Okay, so time, placement of notes. Also, rhythm has a part of this. Do you use space when you play? I mean, that's part of the sound too, but do you use space? How do you judge your rhythm? Do you use any polyrhythm type things or unusual treatments of rhythm? And if you do, I try myself to do that occasionally. And if you do, it's got to be consistent and convincing, or it'll just sound like wrong. And if you want to listen to some wrong, just go back and listen to some of my earlier videos, and some of the probably future ones too. Okay, so time and sound. Okay, and the third one is the one that most people think is the most important, and I'm not sure it is. And that's note choice. What notes do you play? And also, part of this has to do with economy and space, and all of these things are tied together: sound, time, and note choice. They all have connections, and I think it's like that three-legged stool, or the three nuclear deterrents or whatever. You have to have three of them. If you just have two, or worse, if you just have one, I don't know that you'll ever be heard. I do have some recordings of some bad-sounding trumpet players as far as tone and note choice and all that, but not many. Not many. I always tried to find a recording of someone playing ahead of the beat. In other words, kind of rushing. And that's also very difficult to find in recordings, because those players don't make recordings. So I had to kind of pretend like I was doing. And of course, many times I don't have to pretend. I do get ahead of the beat and all that. So anyway, so those three things are important. And they're worthy of being worked on, each one of them. The first thing you need to know is what you want. And boy, that's a tough one. Anyway, while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to play a little bit. This is one of the Aebersolds, and this is not a B-flat trumpet or a flugelhorn. It's I might have played it before here, but it's a C trumpet. It's a Chinese C trumpet. It's worth every penny of the $70 I probably spent on it. I can only stand it if I use a huge mouthpiece. This is a Bach 1, I think. just plain one. And it's about as deep and dark as I got. And then I put this practice mute in the end. And so I'm actually learning how to play this horn a little bit, I'm sorry to say. Not because C trumpet is bad, but because this is such an odd, out of tune one that I'm sure that playing this one in tune is not going to help my intonation on the other horns that are in tune. So doesn't matter at all. Anyway, here's tune number 6 from one of the Aebersolds. Okay.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I kind of know the melody, but I don't know this name. I wish I could play some of that stuff on my horn, but I'm not even close yet. Of course, I started playing as if I was playing B flat. At least that's my excuse. No lip slurring happening here. I gotta rest a little. I just love my facial expressions, don't you? These are all the things you can't do when you play, because none of that helps. That's why I really envy piano players and drummers especially. And all that pounding and grimacing. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see what number 7 is. Boy, we're going to get up to 20 minutes here. I haven't made a video, and I'm celebrating, as I say, my last visit to the dentist in the near future. See, I start on, which is what I think the note is for the B flat horn, and then I have to rethink it. Nice and sharp, aren't I? The problem with this horn is that some notes are sharp and flat, some are flat. But I'm sounding better than I used to. I just don't have it for some of it. I want to play diminished scale, but I end up playing the wrong one, and that's, as I think Dan Hurley once said, if you play the wrong one, then every note has the potential of being wrong. Because you can be a half step away from some and a full step from others, and just, you know. I'd love to be able to play a high D. I'll have the ability to pull this out. It's really stiff, so I'll probably if I play this more, I'll probably fix the third valve slide, make it a little better. Okay, well, this is number 8 in the pantheon of
1, 2,
Aebersold
3,
4
1.
CDs. Ba boom boom boom. Da da dee I The other thing about solos that makes them less good is if they go on too long. Like this recording, for example. If there's anyone still listening, I would be amazed. That's okay. I'm listening. And I do play them back. And I suggest you do that too. We don't have a very accurate picture of our sound or any of that. Our soloing ability, how we play a melody, because what we're hearing is kind of filtered through all the crap up here. And so listening to a recording like this, and I do listen to them all, cringingly. I hope they'll be less cringy as we go, but you can find out some things about yourself if you do this. That some may be usable in music and some may not. They may be usable elsewhere. Patience, use of space. That means don't talk. Keep quiet. I always get in trouble when my mouth is open, like right now. In a minute, I'm going to end this little video with a controversial statement. And we'll see if anyone catches it or if anyone's still around.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
I hit a nice round note there. See, I think a certain note is going to come out, and it almost is that note. It's a step apart. It says my battery's dead, so let me get on to the, what's the word, the controversial thing I'm going to talk about. And this came from a lesson with Hal Graham, and I have it on paper here. But rather than look at the paper, let me just tell you what it is and what's controversial about it. Hal thought that you could actually stop the air farther back than the tongue. He said, say huck, and that is at kind of the back of the tongue. That stops the air. And he said, do that in time. You'll be set up to play the note. And you can literally hold that as long as you want. I mean, I think I've held it for 10 or 15 seconds. And oddly enough, most of the time, you're still set up at the end of that time. So he does it really short, and he does it in the short setting. So let's see here. I'll pick the easiest one, so you can see what I'm talking about. So this exercise is this. I'm doing it with the C drum. That doesn't matter. Okay, so it's a little kind of it's built on thirds and it goes up by step and then it goes. It's a sequence. Okay, that's enough. So the way we played it the other day was just with the horn down and the horn up. So the horn's down. We go 1, 2, up. And so forth. Okay, so that whole timing thing, down, up. And what we're going to add to it for this purpose is the huck. We're going to stop the air on that fourth beat before we play the next part. And it's a very short. So the sound of it is baria, down, up, huck, baria, down, up, huck, Barea and the huck, I don't really know how to explain it. It really does work. And I've had students do that in situations where they were having trouble getting set up and still moving at the time they were supposed to be playing. And moving as you're supposed to be playing is not a great idea. I remember videoing Phil Smith at a clinic at FAU, and I had my VHS recorder, and I set it at maximum magnification so I could focus in on his chops while he played. And damn him, he didn't move. I didn't see any motion. It didn't matter what the note was, what was being asked. And it struck me that this is, if he's relaxed, and he is, I mean, obviously, if he's relaxed and is able to do this, how efficient it would be to not waste all that energy moving, and even anything, any moving you do is energy that doesn't really apply to the horn. So if you could reduce that, it would be good. So anyway, that I'm kind of wandering, but I'm gonna demonstrate this for you, so you can see just how controversial it is. Okay, I'll do it pretty slow. 1, 2. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear it. Of course, you'd have to have listened to me yesterday and still be listening now, but I don't know if you could hear that I'm able to have less chipping on the notes if I'm not worried about the air. The air's already set, ready to go. It's not going to move until I let it go with the tongue. Okay, no slipping around, and it just really seems to help. And I actually have tried it in situations in performance. I would be careful about that until you practiced it, because there is timing involved here. So the other is page 121, number 84, and I've got that one Xeroxed here. It's hard to see, so let me see if I can find my little light here. It might help. That's good. You gonna hold that for me, Ducky? Thanks. Okay, so this is exercise 84 on page 121 of the Arbans, and we're not going to play it like it's listed. We're just going to use the notes. And I got to put my glasses on. I can't see this very well. It's going to be more than a half-hour video. Golly, that's awful. Whew. Anyway, so what we're going to do is Barea, down, up, huck. Barea, down, huck. Barea, huck. And it doesn't have to be that fast. Speed, I remember Ken, my teacher, saying, "Why are you going so fast?" Plenty of chances to go fast later. Let's go slow and see if we can't play it right. And boy, it was even right. Anyway, down. And I'm not going to play the whole thing because we're getting close to 30 minutes, but it goes on for a while, and you do the DC and come back. And you can tell that I'm changing the rhythm, putting more rests in, and some of the notes I'm making longer than they are written. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rather than the original is in 2/4, and we're making it in 4/4. So I encourage you to try it. Give it a try, this huck business. Never heard anyone else mention that. In fact, I think many trumpet teachers would say that stopping the air is death. The air has to keep moving. I don't think that's true anymore. I don't. Because I've seen this work too many times. And no, it didn't really catch on. But if you're having trouble with attacks coming in time, this is one way you can help. I'll throw one more in and then be done for today. The best thing you can do to come in time is to consider the rests to be the same as playing. You're not resting. You're just playing silence. That's a weird statement, but if you don't think that way, you're going to have to start playing again when the notes come in. It's better to keep playing and just play the silence. And for me, that just helps the focus so much better. And this huck thing gives a solid beginning to that fourth beat. Of course, we're tapping our foot, but that's been going on. We're kind of used to that. I'm not really paying attention to it so much, but when it goes baya, huck, that is something I notice, and I notice when I don't do it. So I just encourage you to try it. Don't spread it around too much, just in case this is a real loser. It's worked for me, it worked for Hal, worked for a few of my students, and that's all I can say. I don't have any comment or knowledge about anything wider. Only what happened to me and what I did. Okay, and I was fortunate to get to meet and play with and study with some really great musicians, conductors, brass players, singers, theoreticians, composers. I went to grad school twice, once in Colorado and once in Miami, and it was wonderful to be around that kind of atmosphere. I'll never be in that atmosphere again. And I truly wish that all of you have the opportunity to be in that rich of an atmosphere with music everywhere. Everyone's thinking about it all the time, playing it. What's this? How do you do this? What's this? How do you write this? That's what grad school is about. For me, undergrad school is about trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And by the end of it, maybe you do want to go to grad school and find out a little bit more about it. I hope so. It's like my teacher said. I said, do we need more musicians? And he said, we can always use more great musicians. Always. We can always use more great composers, great arrangers. We have enough mediocre ones. My composition teacher used to say, before you write this, ask yourself, does the world need it? Oh, that's a tough question. The answer is always no. But the follow-up answer is no, but I need it. I need it. And I would never say that to my teacher because I didn't think of it mainly, but it's the truth. Why did I write anything I wrote? I wasn't commissioned. I think I was commissioned to write one thing, and boy, was it lame. But two things. I can think of two. But everything else I wrote because it was something I wanted to hear. Fortunately for me, I didn't have to make my living writing. I think my total income from writing in my whole life is less than $50, and that's in $50 of today's dollars, which isn't much. But it doesn't matter. That's not why I did it. In fact, it's not altruistic for me to say I want to give my music away and for everyone to play it. The truth is that's the only way it's going to get heard. I have some charts published, but they sell very small. I get a check for $1 or $2 every year. My charts are weird. And once you've heard one, you've probably heard enough. That would seem to be the case. Anyway, we're up on 32 minutes now. I'm so sorry. This is Bonsai Anonymous out for tonight.